It was one of the most important events in the history of exchange-traded funds, e-funds, when they entered the Ethereum market last week. They were able to raise $225 billion, which is a huge amount of money. Now, though, it's the weekend, so there won't be any more news until Monday. In any case, these are some really amazing numbers. What does this mean for the price of XRP? I've been telling you from the start that whenever a cryptocurrency like Ethereum becomes very popular, you should think about the good things that could happen in the market for other cryptocurrencies, such as XRP. This is something I've been telling you guys all the time. Additionally, we have talked about how this helps us understand better what occurs when we come across an XRP spot ETF. I also found some similarities. For example, if you go back 2 months, you'll see that the amount of Ethereum coming in was pretty low. Over the past 2 months, we've seen that change, that time when exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, became what they are today. Of course, Treasury, you already know that a lot of people are interested in Tom Lee's group because they are building the biggest Ethereum fund. However, this makes me even more excited about what will happen when an exchange-traded fund that invests in XRP goes live. There's a little more that I want to say about how I feel about that. That being said, it's great to see you back on the crypto feed. However, there are some coins that are up in value, but there is still a lot of rent going up everywhere. XRP is the name for the coin, is one of the coins that is going up in value. Right now, the price is 3.3, which is about 1% more than before. Also, Bitcoin is now worth 187 billion, which is almost 2% more than it was before. As of Saturday morning, about 6.1 billion have been changed in a single day. Before we go any further, though, I want to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. Before, and just like with any other investment, before you put any money into cryptocurrency, you should always do your own study. Because of this, XRP is just slightly above the range of all-time highs it has hit. There is no net entry or exit at this time. This means that they will only move in one way, either up or down, until a certain volume is reached. For the most part, I agree with you. The future looks very bright for XRP. There is still some room in that range, but the price of XRP still looks better than many other options. A lot of people think it will be. The charts that we're going to pull out for you will be talked about. Read what Paul Atkins, who works for the SEC, has to say. All of this and following all of these different rules is mostly done to make people feel calm. We did, in fact, need this. If you have worked in this field for a while, you know that the government and Gary Gendler, who was in charge of the Securities and Exchange Commission, did not make things clear when it came to cryptocurrency during the last administration. Because there were no rules, a lot of anger built up. It seemed like rules were being up on the spot. Because crypto openness wasn't supported, many big companies that had planned to set up shop in the US moved their operations to other countries. The flip the switch event is happening here. And I think this means there is a chance for more growth and interest to come in, not just from stores, but also from businesses and builders. That being said, this part is very clear, and it means that other banks can start providing these services or joining the market for secure coins right away. Needless to say, they won't do that unless there is a very clear reason to. This will help you understand what the consequences are and what actions are proper. What the heck is going on? This is what is happening right now. There is no record of this happening before in the history of cryptography. It is happening now. This is where the fun starts, and it has to do with my main point about what will happen when XRP exchange-traded funds, or ETFs, start trading. At the moment, banks are getting a lot of money. There will be more money coming in if they're even close to as good as the one I sold you. This person wants to be the most famous player in the theory and treasury business. For whatever reason, I'm bringing this up because I want you to guess what might happen. Is it possible for a big company to come along and become what is the biggest RP tragedy sauce? Let's move on from that use case and area instead of focusing on it. I don't get why it wouldn't make sense. Tell me what you would say if I told you that we can already see signs of it. I've said in my most recent vids that there are some publicly traded companies that are actually trying to raise money to build an XRP strategic reserve. You may have seen this in the vids I've put up. This is before the XRP spot ETF starts helping traders in the public market. To put it another way, these pieces of the puzzle are beginning to fit together for me. No one should miss that chance, and I want you all to do so. You're more than welcome to tell me what you think about in the area below. But first, please look at this. Financial institutions will be able to connect their core processes to Ripple in the same way that they can connect to Swift. Take a look at what X-Finance Bull says about that on their page. Even now, we keep spending trillions of dollars on technology that was made in the 1970s but is now out of date. You're right, of course. Give it some time to really sink in. Of course, that is true. This is where ISA 222 comes in, and we can see that the switch is working correctly. Getting money sent across countries, on the other hand, is hard, slow, and broken. The XRP and stable currency that Ripple is releasing are like lines that can move. It's been on for years on the horizon. Swift will not be able to stay alive at this point. Positive things have been said about XRP, even by the CEO of Swift. They can see what is going on. Chief Executive Officer of Ethereum said that Swift doesn't even follow the rules set by ISO. Keep that in mind. Those of you who understand that. Also, people who are interested in XRP should look into the disagreement that Ripple is having with the SEC about XRP. This is why the government of the Securities and Exchange Commission told the Court of Cases that both sides had entered into an agreement to throw out the cases. The clause is still open, which means the court has to agree to it before it can be put into action. I know this is making a lot of people very angry. Let's end it for good. For now, it is still waiting for the judge to make a ruling. There is no doubt at this point that both sides have decided to drop their appeal. For 5 years, this case has been going on, and we want it to end. Even though it seems like a very long time ago, it is still being thought about. And I think we are still waiting for approval right now. And I guess that's where it is now for when that permission comes into play. It's over with us for good. Despite the fact that you know this is okay, the court still needs to give their approval. They have no plans to go through the whole process again because there is no longer any chance to make an appeal. No changes can be made because it is already done. The judge needs to come and, bless it and make it official that this is over. You guys will definitely have something to do because this is so interesting. This cryptocurrency XRP has been checked and found to work with South Africa's exchange control rule, which was created in 1961. In addition, we'd like to give a shout out to our little friends. When it comes to 4 foreign deals,